Hi, this is Sander van Vugt, and in this video I want to give an answer to a question that I've been received a lot lately. So the question is, how do I configure port forwarding using Firewall CMD? And especially the port forwarding has to be configured to a port on the same host. So how would you approach to a situation like that? Well, a good start is firewall-cmd -help. Because this command has so many options that it is hard to remember everything. If you do a grep on forward, for example, then you can see a syntax summary. So what we see here is basically everything we need in the syntax. So let me show you how it works. If we wanted to do this, we would type firewall-cmd -add forward port equals port equals. That's a little bit weird because you have port equals, and that sounds like if it's too much, but it is not. It's just the way it is. So let's do port forwarding on port 2222, and let's forward that to proto equals TCP, which by the way is still part of the 2222, and we want to forward it to another port. So that should be 2 port equals 22. Now if you want to do remote port forwarding, you need to add to address equals something else. We don't want to do remote port forwarding. We just want to open another port that gives access to the same service. So this should be enough. Okay, since I've already tested, I'm getting the already enabled. So let's just ignore the already enabled. Or if you want to, systemctl restart firewall D. There we go. If I do it again now, then I don't get the already enabled. I just want you to be sure that that I'm not cheating or doing whatever weird stuff. Now, as you are aware, a port that has been added like this wouldn't be set as permanent. So I'm adding --permanent as well to write it to the configuration. Now the next step would be to test it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to my other server. The other server is listening on IP address last byte 175. So I'm going to 192.168.4.175. I'm logging in, and now I want to test it. Now there are many solutions to test it. As this is going to an SSH server, I would just be able to, well, do the tests on SSH. But I like Netiquette. So Netiquette, which comes from NC. NC is a command that allows you to probe a specific port on a specific service. So if I'm doing NC 192.168.4.175 on port 2222, then I can see, oh dear, we've got a connection that is refused. So apparently something is wrong, and that is obvious because I'm making a mistake here. I don't want to do this on 175.22.22 because that's the local host where I'm currently at. The IP address I should be using is 173. So let's repeat that. I'm going to 172, log in again, and I'm replacing the 175 in my Netiquette command by 173, and we can see that there's an SSH process that is answering. This is proof enough, because this is showing that the port is actually available as a port forwarding port. And that is all you need to do. In Netiquette, yeah, I have hit enter. Netiquette is expecting me to send some specific SSH commands. I didn't do that. I just hit enter, and that is not enough. So I'm just doing Ctrl-C to get out of there. Another way to do the same thing, by the way, would be nmap. Just type nmap followed by 192.168.4.173, and you will see a list of all ports that are available on that server. Okay, let me show that as well. So I need to install nmap. You install nmap, and we need to give it a second. Now we have Nmap installed, and I can do Nmap. So that will be Nmap, and let's not make the mistake on the IP address 173. It's going to probe all ports that are open on the remote machine, and that should give us, well, this information, in which we can see that 2222 is available. Now let me show you something else. If I wanted to do this from the local machine, does that also work? So let me do a yum install nc and nmap -y on the local machine as well, and wait a second again. So nc on localhost 2222, it's giving me a connection refused. And that is because the port forwarding isn't connecting to the local host. So don't do this on localhost, okay? If you want to do port forwarding on localhost, that is perfectly fine. But to test it, you really need to go to another machine. And that is very confusing, and that is what sometimes goes wrong. And that is what I wanted to show you. But hey, wait, there's one more thing I want to show you. And that is my beautiful website, rhcert.com. I'm trying to provide more useful information through that website. Also, I'm selling my video courses through that website. If you want to be an RHCSA or an RHCE, you can buy the video course here, and listen carefully. Contact me and I can give you a 40% discount. 40% discount, that's a significant discount. You want to have it if you want to have the courses, of course. Get in touch with me if you want to know more. Just go to the website and fill in the form asking me for the discount code, and I'll be happy to give it to you. Something else, tomorrow I'm recording an RHCSA and an RHCE exam prep workshop here in New York. I'm in New York currently. This workshop will be available in 3 months normally, so it should be on the market in September, I hope early September. And this really is the last thing you want to see before actually doing the exam. I'm going to record some great tips that make sure that you are going to pass the exam. See you later. Greetings from New York. This was Sander van Vught. Thank you very much.